Rose Ahisibwe Gwahe, Director of Programs at the SDG Center for Africa, headquartered in Kigali, Rwanda. The SDG Center for Africa is a non-governmental organization, international and diplomatic. It is governed by a board of directors with 9 presidents and other board members drawn from the private sector, the academia, and the business sector. The SDG Center, in its vision, is to ensure that all African nations achieve their sustainable development goal by 2030. And this is a shared responsibility by all nations. And here, the center plays a catalytic role of ensuring that all nations realize their aspirations by 2030. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is guided by 3 pillars. That's the economic, the social, the environment. But more important, it's also guided by the 5 P's of sustainable development, which is people, peace, prosperity, partnership, planet, among others. And it is through this partnership that we see regional economic integration taking shape. Over the 4 decades, regional economic integration has gained momentum. And we see significant changes to realization of the vision, SADC Vision 2050, the SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Plan, Development Strategic Plan, but also the Agenda 2030. And so, through this project, a SADC-supported project titled Engaging for Results, it aims at capacitating regional civil society organizations to effectively, and their networks, to effectively engage in SADC regional integration process. And so, we are here today in Tanzania again. This is the 2nd national workshop aimed at bringing together all the non-state actors to effectively engage each other and ensure we participate effectively in the SADC regional integration processes. And so here we are again converging, brainstorming, and ensuring that the non-state actor engagement mechanism, which was approved by SADC some time back in 2021, comes into fulfillment. This national non-state actor engagement mechanism was approved, and we should be implementing. But the only way we can implement through the NSA engagement mechanism is through our own, the SADC national committees. And so here we are, that yes, in some countries, including Tanzania, the SADC national committees are not functional, are not on the ground. And so we are here to ensure such a structure is instituted, and also ensuring that it is functional. And so we see that it is through such a structure that we are able to realize some of the SADC vision, but also how we can effectively participate and engage in the implementation of the regional indicative strategic development plan for the region, which is the plan where most CSOs, most non-state actors have contributed to the planning, but also in costing the plan. But again, our engagement should not stop there. We should be able to go ahead and track the implementation, but also progress of it, because this is a plan we have built together from the start, and so we should be able to have a contribution towards its implementation. And so here, non-state actors in the context of Tanzania play a critical role. And so here we are here to call for collaboration, because we cannot realize SADC Vision 2050 and its RCEP 2030 and 2030 plan when we are working in silos. We call for collaboration, and through this collaboration, we should be able to realize greater efforts out of our actions. So in other words, we are calling for a sum of national actions beyond, because we know we need each other in implementation of the strategy, but also in the realization of the Vision 2050. And so the role of media is very important here, because the media brings all the stakeholders together, and also in the dissemination and communication of results. We need media to play the key role, and more important, in bringing information closer to the public. This is very important on the side of media, because as a key stakeholder, because visibility and communication is very key when it comes to the success of SADC. Thank you.
On which area do you focus on the SADC?
So in this project, key components of focus, one is the capacity building. Capacity building, where we have started identifying the gap within the CSOs themselves, and then going beyond to design a capacity building plan to address the gaps. But more so, in the project structure, we also realized that CSOs and their networks don't have structures of engagement. And so here, the project was also targeting how we can have CSOs structures built, so that we can use these structures in lobbying and advocacy when it comes to SADC issues. And then the other is also that, yes, at the end of the day, these structures, we need to have the structures functional, because one way we can also probably push SADC issues is through these structures. So the structures we anticipate to have is, we anticipate to have an NSA steering committee, which should be composed of the key stakeholders, including media. Then we should also have a CSO, or non-state actor advocacy forum. So beyond the non-state actor steering committee, we could also think of a non-state actor advocacy forum. So depending on whether we need the two, or whether the two need to move complementary, the choice is on our side, but they are more structured. And again, also, as you cascade downwards, you might also think of maybe district thematic CSOs. The CSOs could be at different levels. But what's most important is having a network of CSOs. Yes, have a structure of CSOs and their networks, so that you bring together ideas and you go through a formalized structure and ensure that the SADC issues in the context of Tanzania are heard of. At the end of the day, we would want to see a functional SADC National Committee for Tanzania. Questions, and I want experts here to respond in less than 2 minutes. Who can manage? I know Rachel can manage. So Rachel, can you assist me and Zach? Those who think can manage answer this in 2 minutes. Nakongo is very, these are usual questions. So the first question is the level of awareness of existing mechanism and SADC at large. What exists as a mechanism? Who's representative? How it works? What challenges for non-state actor engagement? What opportunities exist? And then how can CSOs work together? And then how do we take a SADC message the people and policymakers? We have, I think, throughout our discussion, starting with yesterday, we have gone all through this, isn't it? So we are checking ourselves. Were we together? So we want those reflections as per our engagements since yesterday. We have talked of the level of awareness. I think yesterday SADC presented and was able to shed light on a few things. Even GIZ also presented and was able to share a few opportunities. How it works, I think, and the challenges, I think yesterday, both SADC and the SNL, the strengthening linkages, the national linkages, I think SNL presented on the challenges, but also the opportunities. But again, NSA Advocacy Forum, what next? Probably, so in other words, how do we take SADC message to the people and the policymakers? Because there are SADC issues, and now that we have formed a national advocacy forum,
all right. For Tanzania, the engagement strategies, we had mostly when we engage with at the regional level, we have like when you're having an event like the Age of the Summit or any SADC event, we organize ourselves as civil society, mostly coordinated by Tango, but bring together various thematic areas. But the level of awareness at the local level, at the national level, is very high on SADC issues, but at the local level, it's very low. Other ways of engagement in the SADC have been through the SADC Council of NGOs, Tango is a member. They mobilized and got consensus from all other actors, and they got to the SADC Council of NGOs, which has an MOU with the SADC. That was another strategy. But right now we have an opportunity, as you said, which is the new approved mechanism for CSOs. But basically for Tanzania, we were engaging through Tango as a representative, but we also went through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Finance to get through to the SADC. We've done engagement in what was called the SADC Observatory, of which we used indicators from our national poverty reduction strategy, and now the 5-year plan to feed into the observatory. Thank you.
Perspective. From what I've learned in terms of the 2 days and what will come out, I see that we have there is an existing structure or existing mechanism that is at the regional level, but we did not have a national existing mechanism. So that is an opportunity for us in terms of how can we now leverage that the regional level country back it now to our country level. And what I see, there's an opportunity in terms of the political awareness, but also political support. But also we have in terms of a support from the ministry level. The other perspective is also there is a low capacity in terms of the local organization, non-state actors. But in that aspect, through these 2 days, it has been really influenced, but also really gained more of momentum in terms of how best can we integrate the SADC component into our own programs that we do day-to-day activities. Then the key takeaway is also about this. The other challenge is about there is no a national coordination framework or mechanism for non-state actors. But through this meeting, we also have been able to come up with who are representative of all non-state actors, which we have almost like 6 of them, if I'm correct. We have Nakongo, we have Tango and Angoza, we have ESAF, we also have TPSF, then we also have an advocacy forum who really, I think, to my understanding, those are the who will now go back to the community to raise awareness, but also to influence the advocacy part based on the thematic areas that we have selected.
It should be going to represent us with members, increasement of the Tango members, that the growth of the representation. If I always see TGNP, who is a member of Tango, going there to represent us on gender issues, no other organization, while every year the government is registering NGOs who are dealing with gender, and they don't go there. I don't see the growth. Since I've known the NGO issues in this country, only Legal and Human Rights Center going to SADC to represent us on democracy or the related issues, no other organization goes there. I just question myself, where is the growth? So my challenge here is the growth in our representation, which can make a meaningful results in terms of engagement for other non-state actors in the SADC issues.
Within the non-state actors in Tanzania, it is only available for those who have access to information. That is one. But what exists as mechanisms, there are a lot of mechanisms to engage at SADC level. For me, my experience, mechanisms like the African Mining Indaba, it's a very strong space for the food, agriculture, natural resource aspect of the SADC. There's a SADC think tank, which I've also engaged, which brings across all think tanks across Africa. There's a South African Resource Watch, SARA, it's also a very strong mechanism to engage on. There's sector ministries, of which now at the national level, most of us non-state actors fear to engage the sector ministries here. And that has created a bridge in terms of who knows what and who does not know what. So there's been a very, one of the challenges in that is the knowledge gap. So you find every time we are in a space to dialogue, you could easily see the mismatch of the information, because we feel as non-state actors, the doors to engage the sector ministry is closed.